now move to item 2.13, the Chancellor's report.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Madam President, Madam Vice President, Board of Trustees, newly incoming trustees, welcome. And thank you so much, Trustee Weinstein and Trustee Brown, for your service. Members of the community and colleagues, thank you for the opportunity to be with you here this evening, and thank you to all of our speakers. The evening is a little bit different than what we might experience. So tonight, for Chancellor's reports, I want to go ahead and formally recognize our new appointees in the Chancellor's cabinet, and that would be, and some of these were read out at the prior meeting, and so it was after the fact, and I wasn't able to bring this information forward for everyone. So first of all, I would like to welcome Etheria Smith as our acting Vice Chancellor of General Services. She holds a Bachelor's of Science in Environmental Design and Architecture from the University of California at Berkeley. And Ms. Smith has been with the district since 2004 and has served at different times as the Director of Facilities Planning and Development and as Facilities Planning and Development Manager. Prior to joining our district, she served in the Oakland Unified School District as Facilities Planning Manager. She has more than 20 years of experience planning in a multi-campus and large urban school district, and we welcome her and really thank you, Acting Vice Chancellor Smith, for being willing to help us in this transition. I'd like to also welcome our newly appointed presidents, Dr. Nathaniel Jones. He is, Dr. Nathaniel Jones III. He is the president of College of Alameda, and he began his first day here on December 4th. He has a Doctor of Philosophy from the University of Maryland at Baltimore with a focus in public policy, an MBA from Loyola University, and a Bachelor of Science from the University of Maryland, again at Baltimore with a major in mechanical engineering. You've read about him in the emails and the announcements and so forth, but I want you to know he comes to us from Moreno Valley College, a college in the Riverside Community College District, where he's served as Vice President of Administrative Services, and he brings extensive knowledge of the community college system and financial management and experience with ACC-JC and standards related to accreditation. Before that, he was with the University of California, Riverside as CFO in the Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences Division, and he has held the position of Associate Provost with Pepperdine University in Malibu, California. Ahead of moving into higher education leadership, Dr. Jones taught at Dartmouth College as an assistant professor within the Dartmouth Institute for Health Policy and Clinical Practice. He has published on the topics of incentives and professional responsibility within the healthcare, education, and finance areas. Dr. Rudy Besakoff is president of Laney College, and that was effective on November the 11th. He has a Doctor of Education Leadership from UCLA. He received the Outstanding Dissertation Award for his dissertation, quote, "The Role of the Community College President in Fundraising, a Best Practice Study." He has a Master of Arts in in English and Applied Linguistics from the University of Colorado at Denver. And he has a Bachelor of Arts in English and French from the University of Colorado, Boulder. Dr. Besakoff has been with Peralta since 2018 as the Vice President of Instruction at Laney College, and then stepping in to serve as interim president. Previously, he worked within the California Community College system. His tenure dates back to 2004, first as a professor of English at Long Beach City College, and then moving into higher education leadership within the community college district system, which included vice presidency roles at Los Angeles Valley College, Mount San Jacinto College, and Dr. Besikoff has published and spoken on topics of community college fundraising across his career. Last, tonight I would like to also welcome Dr. Ronald Mckinley as our acting Vice Chancellor of Human Resources. Dr. McKinley has been working with our district as the acting Vice Chancellor of Human Resources recently, and he brings extensive experience as a Chief Human Resource Officer in Human Resource Management and leadership within complex organizations, as well as an academic background. He holds a PhD in Administration and Management with an emphasis in organizational development from Walden University in Minneapolis, and an MBA in Human Resource Management from the Keller Graduate School of Management in Chicago, and a Bachelor of Management from Upper Iowa University in Fayetteville, Iowa. He is also has a lifetime certification as a senior professional in human resource management. And so we're looking forward to including him on our leadership team. So welcome to you all. Thank you so much for being a part of our team. And we are really, really excited to have you. And at another meeting, perhaps when we're not pressed, we'll have an opportunity for you to share some thoughts. With that, our next presentation is from our partner, the Association of Governing Boards. Maisha, I just want to make sure that we still have our individual from AGB with us.
Yes, we do, and she's just put her camera on. She's ready.
Okay, very good. So, Maureen, I would like to turn it over to you. Does she have the ability to share screen, or do I need to do that?
She does, but I'm ready if she would like me to. She wanted to do a demo. How are you feeling, Maureen? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I can start with the presentation and then I'll do the live demo. So thank you all. Maureen, I'm from the Association of Governing Boards of Universities and Colleges, and I your member engagement manager. So I'm here to walk you throughout your membership journey. So next slide, please. So I would like the objective of this presentation is, one, to learn more about you and your concerns and how we can help you throughout these challenges that you're facing, and how we can work together to accomplish your strategic goals. So this is a partnership, and as the Association of Governing Boards, we're here to help you govern with confidence. And the next slide, please. So I would like to hear from you. I've heard a bit of what the concerns are, but is there like top 3 that you would like to get information from AGB concerning 3 particular topics?
Hi, Maureen, how are you? This is Julina Bonilla. I think we met with the orientation that we did with the board officers.
Yes.
And so I think for, and I'll just kind of lead this, and if the trustees have, would like to chime in, that would be great. But I think for us right now, we have AGB, which will likely be board officers will be working in partnership with on the new permanent chancellor search. And that's a very interactive process that is led by the board officers, and usually creating some sort of ad hoc committee that includes at least 3 trustees that will be working with you to finalize the search timeline.
Excuse me, Trustee Bonilla?
Yes.
President Bonilla, there are 2 separate items here.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're actually talking about the enrollment and some of the services that are offered for trustee training.
Right. So
Sorry. I have AGB chancellor search in my head right now. So okay. I'll go ahead and defer to some of the other trustees who may want more information about AGB.
I think it might be instrumental, Maureen, if you would just give an overview of AGB, provide information about what AGB offers to trustees, maybe show how trustees can access the materials and log in on the website, give them some examples of the kinds of ways in which they can interact with AGB, and keep it very broad rather than asking for a lot of dialogue right now.
Okay, that's
Thank
fine.
you, Chancellor.
So if we, if we just skip to the next slide, and then I'll do a live demo.
Okay.
So basically, we launched a new website in January, which comes with a slew of new benefits that are member exclusive. So that includes the Knowledge Center, some frequently asked questions, as well as some orientation materials. So the key to unlocking these benefits is logging in. So I'm going to share my screen and show you how you can access these materials. So on the upper right-hand corner where it says log in, that's what you want to click on.
We're not seeing your screen right now?
Oh, not yet. Let me see.
Not yet.
Just a moment. How about now?
Yes, we see that.
Okay. So in the upper right-hand corner where it says log in, you want to click on that, and it will take you to a page that will ask you for your login credentials. The username is your email address, and that is true for everyone that is on the roster. And your default password is in capital letters, bookmark AGB. So that will unlock your benefits, and I will go over what those are briefly. So the Knowledge Center has a wealth of information, and this you can find topics that are front of mind as I heard this evening. So for instance, you can find resources on coronavirus, justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion, student success, as well as student well-being. You can also find information on board fundamentals, information by institution type, roles and responsibilities, key committees, and resources by format. So I'll start off with the resources by format, which is, so that includes the Trusteeship magazine. This is our bi-monthly magazine, and you should be receiving a copy if we have your mailing address on file. You can also access digital versions of this magazine, starting with the January-February issue of this year. So you can view the latest issue, which is the November-December issue. The digital format reads just like the hard copy. It has the same layout. You can search within the document. It has a lot of good articles in there. So definitely this is a good way to go if you don't want to pile up the hard copy. But we do also have archived versions leading back to 2011. They're not in the digital format, but for instance, if you go into an older issue, it will have just a quick summary and then the article title. And once you click on that, it will give you the article. It can also be, it is printer friendly. So if you're looking for a particular article and you find it, you can save it as a PDF or you can print it. So that is there for your use.
Maureen, maybe it might be also instrumental if you would cover the one-page benefits so that the trustees can see just at a glance what their benefits are, and we will make sure that they have the information they need for the login and so forth.
Okay, so I could do it from this screen. There's a one-pager, Maisha, if you have it as well, but this
So
has
it's
the same
uploaded, everyone.
Okay, so this is the same information. So you get entire access to the Knowledge Center as a member. You also get a copy of a print version of the magazine and also digital access. You get full access to our electronic books, complimentary with your membership, but you also get member preferred pricing with the print version. You get full access to our public policy reports and statements, our governance briefings, our frequently asked questions, the digital membership badge that you can use on your email or LinkedIn, if you will. You get member preferred pricing on all of our events, starting with the Foundation Leadership Forum, the Board Professionals Conference, and our flagship meeting, which is the National Conference on Trusteeship. And then our institutes, which is geared towards fostering a working relationship with the president and the board chair. You get access to our webinars that have, relevant topics that are, top of mind for a lot of institutions and foundations at this time. And that is complimentary with your membership. You also get the new board member orientation, which is orientation tool for new board members or trustees, whichever term you use, but it can also act as a refresher for existing board members. So it is self-paced. You can start and stop at your leisure, and it will save your progress from where you left off. And you can come back to it at whatever time. The one for public institutions, I believe, is about 2 hours long. So I definitely encourage you to take a look at that. You also have peer-to-peer conversations where you can come and ask questions related to a particular topic, and we merely act as facilitators for that. For the public and policy side, you get full access to all of our public policy alerts. And then for consulting, this is a member exclusive benefit. Any consultation that comes out of it, there is member preferred pricing for it or additional fees that would apply. You also have access to AGB search. I believe you're doing a search right now. You do get member preferred pricing with that, and also a virtual board meeting platform, AGB Onboard, if that's something you'd be interested in doing or using. It helps you communicate with your board. It can act as a depository for your meeting materials, your minutes, and so on and so forth. And you also have access to our concierge services here at the bottom right-hand corner, where the purple box that says AGB concierge. You can find someone in real time answering your questions if you're not able to log in, for instance, or you need help finding a particular article or publication. We'd be more than happy to help you with that. And then we also have a governance needs review, which comes complimentary with your membership. And that is, it's basically a wellness check to see what keeps your board up at night. And someone from your team can contact, there's a form you would fill out and someone would contact you with next steps. And you also have Ask the Expert sessions. This is from our consulting arm, and basically it's 1 hour Zoom meetings where you can come in and ask questions in real time on specific topic areas. So we have a consultant who would speak at that session. So for instance, if you were interested tomorrow in attending the Presidential Leadership Development and Assessment version. You could show up at 1 o'clock and talk to a consultant at that time. Unlike the webinars, these are not recorded, so you actually would have to be in attendance for those.
Maureen, so because we've had a pretty long evening this evening, I'm going to see if there might be a conclusion you might bring to this, and then turn it back to see if there are any questions.
So let me see here. If I go back, I mean, so in the presentation that was shared with you all, there's a couple of links to good resources that might help you as you're thinking about decision making as the months come by. So I encourage you to take a look at some of these. There's a mixture of publications and webinars. If you click on the links, they are live. So I encourage you to take a look. As I heard today, student well-being, student success, that's a big deal right now. So there's some resources on that, some resources on committees. So I encourage you to take a look at your own time, but if you have questions for me, I'd be willing to take those at this time.
Thank you, Maureen. And Chancellor, I don't think that we have questions at this time,
Okay, very good.
but thank you.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Maureen, and thank you for your patience this
No
evening.
problem. You're
All right.
welcome. Take care.
I think there is a question from Trustee Withrow.
I've lost my my co-hosting, so if I can be, I had to log off. So if I can have the co-hosting ability, I can manage this a little better.
I also have
Trustee
my
Withrow?
hand raised.
I have a quick question, if I could.
Yes.
This is a great background, and I see that you've been around since 1921. How many community colleges do you have that you work with vis-a-vis the four-year universities and four-year colleges?
So off the top of my head, I'm not sure how many community colleges, but we have the institutions as members, and there's about 2,000 of those institutions and foundations, which then grants individual membership, and there's about 40,000 individual memberships, and those are board of trustees like yourself or board members like yourself.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Trustee Handy?
Yeah, I am trying to understand. Thank you for your presentation, but I am just trying to understand where this is coming from. It seems in the presentation that this is targeted towards the trustees. I see that there's things for the presidents and other leadership, but we have two associations. We have the California Community College League and we have ACCT. And I am struggling to find what is different because of the leadership, the training, and things that we have. And the part that is just really puzzling to me is that this is the first I'm hearing about this. So I don't understand where this is coming from, what this association is. I'm sorry, and you're kind of put on the spot, but this is the second or third time I've been blindsided tonight by not having the information beforehand. I'm just not understanding what the value added of a third organization. And it seems to be California Community College is specific. I know there are colleges across the country, but we are all very, very different, especially California. trustees here are elected in California, they're appointed in other states. Our issues and things are not all the same. It's not a one size fits all. That's why it's important to have the California Community College Association. But then we have the American Association of Community College Trustees. So I'm trying to understand what the value added of this piece is. Are you providing training? Are you coming in, or is this just access to information that's online somewhere? I'm sorry, I'm not understanding this at all. And since I've been a trustee for 18 years and I've not heard of this organization, you can see why I am a little perplexed. I mean, but if there's something here that I'm missing or wasn't given, I would really like to understand what this is all about and what the value added is for us.
So let me interject here, if you don't mind. Trustee Bonilla, President Bonilla, would you like to offer any comments for Trustee Handy?
No, I was actually going to defer to you, Chancellor.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So what this,
I mean, I've gone through an orientation with the group, but Chancellor, I think what Trustee Handy is asking for is kind of a much more global perspective.
Right. So just for the edification of everyone, AGB is a resource similar to the two organizations that you mentioned, Trustee Handy. The reason that we bring AGB in is just offering our trustees another location for information and for ways to avail themselves of different types of materials. Second, as part of the contract that brought me in as the interim chancellor, AGB was one of the pieces of that agreement. So the Peralta Community College District joined AGB, and we are availing ourselves of the best practices that they bring forward. Doesn't mean that you have to avail yourself of them if you're not interested or if it's not something that you feel that's beneficial to you. But it does provide a plethora of resources for our district and for our colleges. So there is, think of it as you have, 3 different places you can go to get specific information regarding particular issues that higher education, including community colleges, are facing. So there are webinars, there's, not free, but, materials that you can download. And I find it to be very helpful in helping to get different perspectives, perhaps, or just to find ways, new ideas of how to do the business that we have to do in community colleges. So you are correct. They are not a California located company. They are nationwide. They have a handful of different types of organizations, including foundations, and they have deep and wide, I would say, expertise in many areas that we're facing. So it's just a piece of information. It isn't anything that you necessarily need to, take in and say we have to do this, but this is a set of resources that is available to the trustees. So that's an overview.
Okay, and I wanted to ask you something, Chancellor. So this is something that's also available to the college presidents, and so it's not limited to trustees. It is for the entire.
Correct.
Because it makes more sense for them, but not for us. But that's what I'm trying to understand where this is coming from, because we're trustees. We're not there the everyday. Ours is fiduciary. Our job is not as extensive as yours.
There's both. There's trustee level and CEO level.
Okay, well, that makes more sense to me.
It's just, I don't know. You go to a restaurant and you get to choose different things. So this is,
and Chancellor, did I hear, and thank you for reminding us, you were also working through AGB as part of your coaching
correct.
component, which is part of your contractual agreement with the trustees. So yeah, there's a number of services that are offered, and I think you were just highlighting that. I am so sorry. In addition to the national search services that they offer as well. So
Correct.
there just seems that a number of services like ACCT offers a kind of a broader spectrum. So thank you for that. But I do have Trustee Brown in the queue.
Thanks. I was just, I appreciate the clarification. I was just trying to understand a little bit more about AGB. And so as I understand it, it is a coach. So our Chancellor is being coached as an executive through AGB. And is this, so I'm wondering, are the programs similar to those that are provided by, say, the University of California at Davis, Wheelhouse Institute, or those programs that are provided through CCLC or ACCT? And I'm wondering if AGB is, does that have trainings that are focused on California initiatives and California regulations?
AGB is more of a nationwide organization. So the idea is, for example, when we're talking about different aspects of leadership and organizational behavior, or trustees, or CEO functioning, that sort of thing, the topics are very germane. So for example, you can go to AGB and engage in a webinar or a seminar, if you will, on topics such as real estate and asset management within your organization. And while you are correct in that California has a specific lens for community colleges, AGB still offers a lot of resources that allow you to garner new ideas, ways of looking at things, resources, ways to connect, how to get information, and so forth. And so, yes, the coaching is part of the contract that was signed by myself and the board, because it was required as part of my agreement. So I find their courses and their information to be edifying. I would not say that they are a certification or certified institution, say, for example, at Davis or some other location where you can get a degree or something of that nature. So, and I'm not sure if that's something that's available with ACCT or I heard you talk about that earlier about some of the certifications, but I'm not sure if they're apples to apples. So.
And what's the cost? What's the AGB cost?
I don't have that figure on the top of my head. I'll have to get it for you.
It's based on your full-time enrollment. So it varies from institution to institution.
What was the Peralta contract cost?
Beg your pardon?
The Peralta contract cost.
I'll have to get that information for you, Trustee Brown, and bring it back.
Yeah. I think that's very important, because we had to limit our involvement in some of the other organizations simply because of the cost. And for many years, we we were not members of ACCT because of the outrageous cost. It is the most expensive. It's productive, but it's expensive. Right. We also have membership costs to CCLC. And then on top of that, we pay for the conferences and all of that. And I don't think as trustees and our budget, we can't afford to attend any other association because we have a limited budget. Many years ago, we moved to have our personal development budget separated from our trustee involvement in these organizations, because we had to add more money to the budget in order to be able to be members in those organizations. So the cost and the commitment and any additional things is something that we really need to know about, because, as I said, to keep costs down, we have literally over the years had to limit our engagement. So I would like to have that report be forthcoming.
Okay, I can bring forward the relative.
President, can I suggest that we've spent enough time on this item and that we could move along?
Thank you. Sure.
Just because it may be boring to you,
so-
Trustee Gonzalez, I don't think that we needed to move it. I think this is a very important issue. We have had many important issues come up on this agenda tonight that we were not informed of. That is my job as a trustee. It is fiduciary. It's the cost.
Madam
Losing
President, could I
students.
ask that you inform board enforcement?
So I will redirect us back to our agenda. Chancellor, would you like to move forward?
I would, and I would like to thank Maureen for her patience and for being here this evening. I really do appreciate AGB and the services that they offer. And so thank you so much, Maureen. I would like to now move on to our marketing communications plan. And I have asked our Executive Director of Marketing Communications and Public Information.
So Chancellor, in light of time,
yep, and
we'll take it as an informational item. It is uploaded for the trustees to review.
Okay.
And then if you're planning to bring this back as a formal presentation, we can do that at a later time.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Trustee Brown, I do see your hand raised in the queue.
Oh, it's not. It's not.
Okay, thank you. Chancellor, moving forward.
We have item 3.1, which is the